Hey, it's philzGoodMan, and in this video, I'm going to be playing Krunker on an Xbox controller. Now, I don't currently own a gaming console, but I did used to play a lot of Halo 2 back in the day, so it did take me a few hours to relearn the sticks, and I definitely recommend trying this out, even if you're not a console player or a controller user, because it was really fun learning new mechanics. It also made the standard pub lobbies a lot more challenging and more enjoyable as well. So I'll be going over how to set up a controller on PC, some recommended settings and key bindings, as well as some class recommendations and some gameplay of the FAMAS, the Hunter, and the SMG. So how do you play Krunker using a controller? If you're on a Windows PC and using an Xbox controller, it's really easy, just plug and play. So just connect wirelessly or plug it in via USB, and it's good to go. The game automatically works. And sorry, I do not have experience using a PS4 controller, and I have not tested it on macOS or Chrome OS. Anyways, it automatically worked on both the Krunker client as well as Chrome, again while using Windows. So moving on to the key bindings. So the tricky thing is that there are some keybinds that cannot be changed, mainly left and right trigger. So I'll get to that later. But basically you can go ahead and copy my settings for keybinds I have here. The main thing is that I want to be using the left and right bumper for jump and crouch, and I want to keep my index fingers on the left and right bumper, and then my middle finger on the aim button and the trigger button. So that allows me to do most of the movement abilities. It just makes things like switching weapons a little bit harder. As for the rest of the settings, I think that you can keep everything pretty much the same as you do for mouse and keyboard. The one thing is that you're going to have to vastly lower your sensitivity. Now I'm going to be using something called the Xbox Accessories app to remap some of the keys. So by default, the left and right bumper switch weapons. And that's why you don't see my primary and knife keybinds actually bound, because these are kind of baked into the game. So using the Xbox Accessories app, I can rebind these things to buttons like A and B. And that's going to allow me to use the left and right bumper for jump and slide. Some classes are easier than others while using the controller, and I found myself really liking the full auto classes as well as the FAMAS. So I'll talk about the FAMAS first. So the thing I like about the FAMAS is that you don't always have to be tracking the enemy, you have to be tracking them just when the burst is firing. So you could use a higher general sensitivity and be able to do movement abilities a bit more easily, but when you're aiming, you can use a lower aim sense and just really hone in on them while you're using the FAMAS. So I had pretty good luck just jumping around the map, ADSing, and firing off bursts. And even if your burst is not completely accurate, sometimes it works out in your advantage. You could be aiming at their body and then the recoil will kick up toward their head. So next up we have the Hunter, and I've heard people say that they really like to play Hunter while using the controller, but I found myself having a really hard time. One thing that's really hard to do is any type of flick style shot, so moving the mouse, or in this case the joystick, really quickly in one direction. And anytime I played against a good player playing Hunter against me using a mouse and keyboard, I almost always lost that fight. So one thing that helped me out was just trying to focus on the timing of the sniping. So it takes quite a long time in between sniper shots. And what you want to do is time it up so that when the enemy walks across your crosshair, that's when you want to press fire. The easiest class for me to play using a controller was the run and gun with the SMG, and it was really nice not having to manage switching weapons. The second reason is that the run and gun compared to a class like the Triggerman has a lot lower recoil, and making the micro adjustments for recoil is quite hard for me, at least right now, using the controller. The last reason is that I found myself having a hard time with long-range fights while using the controller, and the run and gun can really get in on close range and spray them down. This was probably my strongest game using the controller, so I'll leave you guys with the gameplay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me playing Krunker on controller. It was really fun and I was better at it than I expected. So I'll probably continue to do it just to mix it up every once in a while and take a break from mouse and keyboard. Also, the channel has grown a lot this year, so I want to take a moment to thank you, whether you're just a viewer or you're a subscriber. It's really amazing to me that the channel's almost at 5K subs, so thank you all so much. And lastly, I'm going to be doing another giveaway. This is for 20K KR, and details are in the description below. Thank you.